Hello, everyone. So I felt really bad that this week I wasn't able to bring out session 2 of Return to Drang Lake. Unfortunately, I recorded only 3 seconds of that session as opposed to 5 hours. So, big fuck up. That won't happen again. Uh, I'll I'll make sure to have a really good recap of last session. We did have a lot of fun. But we just sort of went through the first couple chambers of the Lost Bastille. So not a whole lot, although it was definitely a fun session. I'm sad you guys weren't able to see it. But next week we'll go ahead and come out with that. But this week I thought I might go ahead and utilize this opportunity to start a new series that I really wanted to do, which is sort of DM tips from my perspective. After DMing nonstop for 5 years, I've done like 4 campaigns in 1 year, and I just keep doing more. So I've definitely learned a lot of things, made a lot of mistakes, and tweaked stuff from them. So today I wanted to talk about building dungeons, and I think I do them sort of different. I like to make my campaigns as close to a module as possible because I just like to play really constructive you know, non fan fiction feeling campaigns. I know there are a whole lot of DMs out there who are able to make custom campaigns that do feel super constructive and like a lot of work and time was put into them. So, obviously that's something that's very easy to come across. But, so yeah, even though I do that, I think the way I make dungeons is very different. I think it was initially very inspired from video games, and then sort of took the transformation to, okay, this world's a lot more. D&D is a lot more interactive. It's a lot more a couple chambers that are open ended and serve explorative purposes rather than going through levels. So that I think will start out with the important lesson. So this dungeon, this is from a upcoming campaign that should start on the 19th of September is when we'll get started. Takes place on the small island of Darnen. And it's going to start off in one of the 6 cities, a port town called New Water. And I'm doing something really cool for this one. I usually don't do... I usually don't have random encounters. My campaigns end up being pretty linear, but I wanted to go back to an old campaign that I made a couple years back, which there are 3 sessions of on YouTube if you want to check those out. That's under 5d6 best of 3 is the channel. And then I think I've got episodes 6, 7, and 11. Session 6, 7, and 11 on YouTube. So yeah, Darnen Ignited. Those are always a trip to go back to. But anyway, so I'm going back to some random encounters. You see, I've got one in the works, and something brand new that I want to do is a notice board, sort of like The Witcher, where each city will have 10 different sort of mini side quests. Now, there's 6 cities, so I have to make 60 of them. Holy fuck. How many maps is that gonna take? It might be too much. We'll see. But yeah, so this is really cool. What I think I'm gonna have end up doing is in the center of town there's gonna be the notice board, and then I'll have 2 of them at a time. Roll a d20 to see which 2 start off, and then I won't replace one with the other until they complete one of them, so that these all don't just get burned out super quickly. They start at level 3, and what I think I'm going to do is just use these as a way to level them up until they get to level 5, which then comes Talonbrand Arrives. And I won't give away anything about the story, because I want you guys to experience it, even though I am giving you as this is titled, behind the screen of what's going on. But we'll only work with this for now, since I'm very excited with what I created, and I think it's a great opportunity to show you how I make dungeons personally and how I like to approach them. So, this is the storage room of the restaurant. I'm not going to make the whole restaurant because there's really no purpose in it. There's no reason to explore the restaurant. We specifically want to start out at what the side quest entails. So, as it is written, it says, an odor most foul. Yes, these are all like puns and references. I am the owner of the Salty Flounder in the West District, a very unfortunately named restaurant. A deathly smell is emanating from the gutter below my restaurant, and I fear it is something worse than garbage. My business is suffering, as no one wishes to dine in such an awful environment. Please help. Ask for Zelvum, and state your business at the door. Reward 75 gold. Now, this is a lot more challenging than being worth 75 gold. But I did want a sort of misproportionalness to it to make it feel more realistic. And I don't want these encounters scaled. If something's too difficult, run away, do something else, level up, to sort of encourage that open world feel to it, rather than it feeling very linear. But it also makes sense because this guy's business is failing. He's not going to have a lot of money to offer up. He doesn't exactly know what it is. So since he doesn't know that it's a monstrous mutated ochre jelly or ochre jelly, he's not going to offer a whole lot because, it might just be rats or a dead body or something, which I don't think is worth more than 75 gold, which of course they can persuade and be like, look, man, this fucking acid juice over here, which they're going to have to roll Constitution to see if they will not have to have disadvantage to checks and attacks, which would suck. I think because that's so detrimental for the whole encounter, I'll have the check just be an 11, so it'll be pretty easy. The creature's actual acid attack is a DC 11, so will remain consistent. But anyway, so Zevim will, I think I want him to be a dwarf. He's going to introduce him to the place, say, here, through here is where the smell is coming out of. It's quite atrocious. And then he'll leave and say good luck. And they'll have the opportunity to just look around. There's not going to be much in here, but I might just have some trinkets for them to sniff out. So, finally, they go through the grate here, and I'll go ahead and show you what they see next. Of course, I would then hide the New Water Overworld map, since it just does not flavorfully make sense, and reveal our sewer map, play some sewer ambiance. And then next up, I would go ahead and reveal part 1. So, as far as the amount of chambers, when I was first starting out, I thought, oh my god, a chamber's going to take 15 minutes. I've got to put as much in here as possible to make it go by for an hour. Hell no, man. They could be in here for 20 to 30 minutes. This one room. So I suggest 6 to 8 for just a side quest dungeon. And if it's a main quest, I don't know, a couple levels. So I would say 12, maybe 15, 5 per level. A 3-level dungeon, 5 chambers per each. And that's main quest. And when I do that, it's a 3-session dungeon. And by the end, players get kind of antsy. So, the way I construct dungeons, that makes the most sense for me. So, I wanted to go ahead and open it up with a sort of teaser. So, first of all, I'll go ahead and say before I start rambling, I think it's important for every dungeon to have a theme. Unless for some reason it's just a one-off challenge the players, make a super difficult dungeon. But other than that, every dungeon needs a theme. So for this one, there is a strange odor, a strange deathly odor coming from, below. When I wrote this, I didn't have anything in specific in mind. I thought, alright, it's a sewer, there's some big gross monster down here, maybe an Otyugh, and sort of went from there. So obvious mechanics are going to be gross sewer monsters. In addition to that, a sort of deathly mist, which we've got here, that is deadly to the players if they don't make the, right Constitution save. And then in addition to that, the kind of city it is, it's a port city. And it's a seedy one. So we're going to have probably bandits living in the sewers. And then it's probably going to be dirty. It's probably going to be small and cramped. So those are sort of the initial themes that I went with. And in addition to that, I want to try and separate combat as much as possible so that it's not just combat in one chamber, combat in the next chamber. There's no surprise, and it's exhausting. But since there's sort of a tension in the air with them entering the dungeon and sort of being like, okay, what is going on? Let's get our bearings. We can go ahead and surprise them with some initial combat. So I wanted to sort of give them a teaser to the ending and have some gray oozes come at them, which are just, oh shit, I got out of roll 20. Let me go ahead and roll another tab. This is roll another tab. This is 5e SRD. I fucking love this shit. I swear by it. So, what are they? Are they 0.5? Yeah, they're 0.5. Gray oozes, 8 AC, 22 hit points. And they do a pseudopod attack, which can deal a lot of acid damage, which is really scary. Because giving them -1 penalty to AC for corroding their armor can be really fucked, even for a creature that tiny. So I made sure to only have 2 here, because I don't want it to be the big bad encounter. I just sort of wanted to sidetrack them and put them on their toes. So next up, I want to make sure that the dungeon isn't incredibly linear, so that it feels like they don't have any choices. So I wanted to make sure with this one, we've got a little bit of a branching path, so that they've got some choices. I also wanted to just keep up with the surprises. Like, when you're going through a sewer, you're like, all right, we're going to have some maze, like labyrinth type areas. We go from chamber to chamber. I want to give them a surprise with a big ass fucking waterfall. So they get through there and they get to here and there's just the rushing sound of water going downward. And it's like, oh fuck, we're fucking in this, boys. It's probably going to go 20 feet down. So, they've either got to make the jump and make like a athletics or acrobatics roll to see if they're able to like go down with a current and not get injured. Or just, like tumble down and take 2d10 or 2d6 bludgeoning damage. But if they go through this side route, this is going to be the entrance to the lair of some bandits to sort of just break up the monotony of monsters. So this initial chamber is going to be empty. There's not going to be any monsters here. We will have a trap that's set up by the bandits who are hiding behind this steel door that is locked. And to sort of give them a reason to explore this area, we've got a dead body floating in the water here who's going to have the key to this steel door on him. So they'll need to do a little bit of investigation. Barrels in my campaign give opportunity to just, find some trinkets or small healing potions or just, common magic items like a potion of climbing or something like that. So unlocking the door. Next up, we have the initial area of the hideout. Small enough, but the thieves aren't going to notice them right away. They'll be doing what thieves in sewers do best, counting gold and cackling amongst themselves. So the players here aren't going to be surprised by combat this time, so it's not overwhelming. For this one, to break it up once again, they get to see their combatants. They get to choose if they want to leave. They get to choose if they want to stealthily approach them, or they get to choose if they want to just go all out. Once again, I wanted to include a trap just to sort of show off that these are bandits who are paranoid about people coming into their lair. So if a player like Marcus here were to try and sneak, shing, all of a sudden our little scythe trap will come out of the wall. I think it'll do like 2d4 piercing damage. Maybe 2d6. We'll do 2d6. All ones, of course. And by that point, the sound of that will alert our thieves here who will come out and attack. So these thieves are obviously not just going to be in a small square room. So, you know, they've got some sleeping quarters. Obviously, they've got food too, but, you know, I didn't want this to be a bandit dungeon. This is like a tiny side track. So we can just say they eat the fucking rats in the sewers and shit like that. But, so we'll go ahead and show their bedding area. Their sort of cabin bunk area. And we're going to have two thieves that will surprise the players this time. Once again, to keep just sort of counterbalancing so they're not encountering the same thing over and over again. These thieves will be hiding behind their beds. Once the players enter here, their reactions will have them shoot their hand crossbows at them. And if they're able to defeat the thieves, we got some nice treasure here. I'll go ahead and have an uncommon rare item and like a D20 of gold. 6 gold. Congratulations. Good job. So, yeah, that's a little side encounter to get them, you know, like, excited. Well, we got some fucking cool loot. You know, that was worth it. That was fun. I wonder what's going on. I wonder why these guys are in here. And then, finally, they get to take the plunge even deeper into our sewer dungeon here. Let me go ahead and reveal this so it's easier for you guys to see it. So, here we're going to have your very standard, tropey sewer chamber, because every sewer needs it. We've got a crocodile hiding under some garbage. And then I've also got a little bit of a hint here. Because crocodiles being in an enclosed area with no entrance doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. If he were to come through here, he would have had to squeeze his way through the gutter, the little grate in the restaurant, which obviously he didn't go through. Not in this one. Maybe in another campaign you can figure out why a crocodile would do that. But I don't want them to get any more sidetracked. So this is just going to be rubble that caved in, and the crocodile just, you know, whatever garbage comes falling down, he eats it. But they will see this sewer gate here. It's going to be a 10-foot large hole that has been busted through, and it'll give them an idea, okay, something is hiding down here. When eventually, checking out the garbage, as I know they will probably do, our crocodile friend will reveal himself and have a surprise attack against the players. And he is just a regular crocodile, because I, once again, didn't want it to just, I didn't want to just drain them right away. But, you know, I didn't want to scare them. So crocodiles, they've only got 19 HP. I do want to give them a sort of additional thing, because him just being able to bite and then not bite anymore and grapple an enemy, and the grapple doesn't really damage them at all, it just sort of holds them in place while the crocodile can't do anything, is kind of underwhelming to me. So I think I'm going to give him like a death roll mechanic, where every turn that the crocodile has a victim in its mouth, you know, he can take advantage to attack him by doing a death roll, and the player makes a save, and if they don't make the save, they get a level of exhaustion. I think that would up the stakes a little bit and sort of perk up the players as to this is a real encounter. This, you know, this is a simple enemy, but it's a crocodile. He could kill him if he continues death rolling him underwater, which is pretty fucking dark for fantasy. But hey, man, that's how shit goes down in real life. So after defeating the crocodile, I didn't want to make another, like, video game door that's locked. Originally, I was going to have a key in the garbage, and they had to, like, you know, open up a steel door. Part of the reason I didn't do that was because I wanted the mist to go through. And the steel door in the other area indicated that mist doesn't go very far through here, which is why the thieves sort of took residence in here. So it's a safe room. So I think in addition to that, I'm going to make this area a place where they can full rest. I usually in dungeons don't have players able to full rest. It's just a short rest. But since, you know, they're only level 3, they might take this at level 4, which will make it a little bit more breathing room. But if they do take this quest at level 3, then I want them to be able to get a little bit of reprieve. And, you know, if they do level up through here, I want them to be able to be level 4 when they wake up, to sort of give them a little bit more of a fighting chance, and so they don't have all of their spell slots depleted. So, and last area of this dungeon is going to be, and that's it. Like, these are the last 2 rooms. That's it. So in total, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see, 6, 7 chambers, and this is going to probably take 2 sessions to get through, or a session and a half. So perfect for me. From me playing or DMing, this is perfect amount, and I'm really excited about this. I feel like this is very solid. So entering here, I did want to also give them just sort of a moment of breathing room and sort of give a little bit more tension. So we've got more mist here, and I'll sort of detail that it's come wafting through this door, which is like a steel portcullis kind of thing. And over here we've got a crank that will crank it open. And I'm gonna scare the shit out of them a little bit more, and I'll tell you how in just a moment after I reveal. Well, I don't think this is revealing it. After I reveal this area, and we'll show this little staircase so it's easier to see. This is the main encounter. This is the cause of the stank. This is a custom okra jelly that I made. Purposely found this for it because he's gonna have skeletal bodies in him, and the fun part about that is it's not just skeletal bodies. I also have a another notice board that is Wanted the Chameleon, a killer who killed 3 men in the past 48 hours. He would have dumped the bodies into the sewer, and this okra jelly would have morphed with them, creating a skeletal okra jelly that can bite, in addition to his pseudopod, which is going to be fun as fuck. But, so that when the players enter here, they'll go ahead and look around. They'll see that there are, you know, some sewer grates where water is pouring in. This seems to be the main area of the sewer, and it's a big open area, so it'll give them a little bit of a guess. And then, in addition to that, we've got this crank. And it's just going to be a simple crank. No, well, I wouldn't say no tricks, but no puzzle behind it. So a player will go to the crank. They'll go ahead and crank it open, and they'll, you know, it's going to be, well, I would say if it's brought all the way to the end, it sort of locks. You can lock it in place. So yeah, so whatever character, whoever player does, they'll crank it open. All the other players will go through. And as soon as they go to leave the crank, I think I'm going to have the chain break, and this door come crashing down, just for some more tension. So the other players will be trapped in here, just 3 of them, and 1 will be back here. I don't have a plan for how to open it. I don't. And I'm okay with that, because I want players to be creative. I don't want an actual like plan for you have to go through these steps to reconnect the chain, and there's only this way of doing it. So, panic mode. Okra Jelly wakes up. His buddy oozes wake up. All fucking 3 of them. And, at this point, you can either run the fuck out of here. This will lead to the surface. Or you can fight. I might not do that, because the more I think about it as I talk about it now, I really don't know how they would be able to open the portcullis again. It is a large steel door. They can't really strength their way out of there. And if it's a character that isn't a rogue, you know, then they're kind of screwed. So I'll probably just have it be a regular old crank. We'll see what happens. We'll see if I think of anything else. But, so this okra jelly. I like end game, end quest, and dungeon bosses to be really unique. So he could just be a level 2 okra jelly, and that'd be okay. Or he could be interesting, which is where the bones come in. So I've sort of included some stats from a skeleton as well as the okra jelly. So the Ochre Jelly's lowest stats I've increased based on what the skeletons are. So his Wisdom went up from a 6 to an 8, his Int went up from a 3 to a 6, and his Charisma went up from a 1 to a 5. I gave him Bludgeoning Vulnerability, so that he's not so insane. And that'll also, tie into him being a skeletal creature. Everything else is the same. I gave him immunity to poison from being skeletal. And the big kicker here is giving him acid breath. So since he has a mouth to bite with now, he can exhale the acid that he is imbued with for TPK damage. I might lower that to 3d8. We'll see. Let me go ahead and see what level the wormling, the black dragon wormling is. So brass. Let's see how much they do. Fire breath, taking 4d6 fire damage. Okay, I might go with that. Copper dragon. Ooh, they also have an acid breath. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll do that. We'll do 48. 48. That is the lowest that any creature does, so that'll be 18. I'm more okay with that. Let's go ahead and test that out. What is our average for 48 here? 10. Beautiful. Awesome. So yeah, so it'll just be some acid damage. So that'll be fun. He is only a level 1 though. Okay, fuck it. Let's get scary. Let's get scary. We'll do a 5d8. I want this guy to be scary as fuck. When they split, I think I'll take away the acid breath and I'll take away the bite. They'll just be pseudopods. So we'll do that. But yeah, so this is how I made this dungeon. And then when they're done, they'll go back up to God, I turned the air off so that I can do this without the whirring of the fan, but now I feel sick to my stomach because it's so fucking hot out. Alright, and I'll just ignore that. And like I said, they pop back out of the sewer, and then I think I'm gonna have like a guard come up to them and be like, "What in the hell are you doing down there in the sewer, boy?" And make fun of them because that shit's silly. But yeah, so this is first episode of Behind the Screen. That's my first dungeon that I'm showing you guys. Hopefully you learned a couple things. Hopefully I didn't go too fast. I think I talked a little fast. Yeah, hopefully you guys were able to learn some stuff. Feel free to use any of these ideas in your campaigns. I don't give a fuck. Whatever makes it more fun for your players. If you really are in dire straits to come up with a dungeon and you come across this video, fucking be my guest. Feel free. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys later, and next week will be session 2 of Return to Dragon Lake. See you guys.